Okay, today we are going to make Hansadutta's world famous Italian tomato sauce with fried curd steak. Before I begin, I wanted to make one important point. The sink is the anus of the kitchen. That sounds gross, but the fact is that that's what it is. Everything goes wash, sink, sink, sink. So similarly, as when we as individuals go to the toilet, we wouldn't think of cleaning our behind afterwards, maybe half an hour later or in the evening, next day. No, we would immediately wash and be clean. So similarly, the sink should always be kept clean of everything, including pots. As soon as you use a pot, you should clean it while that's the easiest time, and put it away where it's supposed to go. We said once before in another video that we want to popularize the use of milk or curd as opposed to people eating meat, like they would eat spaghetti and meatballs or have a steak. But Prabhupada has pointed out that the milk of the cow is nothing but the blood, which enters the udder and is then transformed by the inconceivable, mysterious power of the cow. Although milk is just grass and water, which is ingested, digested by a cow, but by the great, wonderful arrangement of Krishna, this animal is able to take a useless, practically useless for all human purposes, hay or grass, and transform it into milk, which is really the most perfect food. So today we're going to suggest that people, instead of eating a slab of meat, they should learn to accept a piece of curd or a curd steak, which is it's actually much better nutrition-wise, economic-wise, and time-wise. In every respect, taking milk, transforming it into curd, as we're going to, or have done. The curd is here ready from our cow at Lakshmi's place up in Sonoma County. 1 gallon of milk makes approximately 1.5 pounds of curd, 1 gallon. Let us first make the tomato sauce, and we'll use ghee as opposed to oil. Ghee, as most of you probably know, is clarified butter. And it requires no refrigeration. Once the butter has been left overnight on a low heat, it clarifies. That means the impurities in the butter, the moisture and the salt and the casein, basically float to the top and the bottom. And then what's left is a substance which appears to be like oil, but it's not oil. It needs no refrigeration to keep. You can keep it for years, in fact. And it's highly medicinal and healthy for you. So the way we're going to make this sauce is we're going to just cut the tomato in half, like this. We're not going to put it in the blender as some might have thought we might do. For spicing, we'll add a little of Hansadutta's world famous mix, and also we'll of course put Italian mix. You want a very hot flame, and then we push the whole thing and give it a shake, and then face down we put the tomatoes, the half. Okay, that's it. Then a little black salt, a bit of white salt, A touch of sugar, it makes the whole preparation a little less acidic. And then we put the lid and just let it cook on very high heat for a short time, at which we will then take the whole preparation and push it through a strainer or a sieve or whatever you want. Especially amongst cooks, there's a whole mystique about making tomato sauce. It's sort of like attaining nirvana. They make it like it's a mysterious and difficult and secret process, but actually it's very simple. And instead of cooking it for hours on end, which is most cooks will claim that that's what you have to do, it just takes 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most. So by now the tomatoes, as you can see, they're pretty well cooked, and except maybe the one in the middle, because it was kind of green to begin with, so we'll leave that. Transfer them onto the screen. In this way, the skin, which is undesirable, the skin of the tomato is sort of its wrapping. So now, when you look at this tomato sauce, it may not look as red as the tomato sauce in a ragu or Bertolli jar. That's because they add coloring. We don't add anything. And we'll put it aside. Slice. You can, of course, make them any size, or any shape, or any thickness, but this is my suggestion. I know this is gross to speak of, but when you make curd steak, fried curd steak, and a person eats it, it is so tender. It is just like having a filet mignon steak, but you're not incurring any karmic reaction, sinful activity. You're not creating a health problem. You're not spending a lot of money. It is an absolutely transcendental green way to go. Everyone should eat curd steak. Okay, now again, we will use the ghee. We want to give them a little jostle so the steaks don't stick to the bottom. So to see how they're doing, we'll flip one over. A little more brown. There we go. So you can see it's very simple, very fast. And it's a very bright, potentially revolutionary food for the future of America. No, the whole world actually. Unfortunately, the viewer audience can't taste this preparation. That's the shortcoming of internet communication, the taste, the smell. That you have to take up the practice of cooking. So let's see how they are doing the other side. Okay, that's done too. So that means they're all done. And so what do? That's it. Actually, you can tell how good a cook is just by seeing how clean his kitchen is, especially the sink. You don't even have to taste what he cooks.